walk into a birthday dinner a few minutes late, still taking off your coat, and the table goes quiet in that strange, careful way. Not silent, just different. One friend smiles too quickly. Another asks if you are okay before you have said anything. Then someone says, "We were just hoping tonight would stay easy." You have no idea what that means, but everyone else seems to. You sit down already trying to figure out what version of you got here first. There is a name for what can happen here. Preemptive reputation framing. It sounds technical, but the experience is simple. Before you arrive, someone gives the room a way to interpret you. Maybe they say you have been stressed. Maybe they say you take things personally. Maybe they tell people not to bring something up because you will make it a whole thing. Then you walk in carrying a story you never got to tell. This is not proof that someone is trying to ruin you. A person may be passing on a real concern. They may be trying clumsily to give context. They may have their own honest experience with you. One awkward comment is not a pattern. Sometimes a warning is necessary. But there is a difference between sharing a specific concern and repeatedly preparing people to see you as a type of person. The difficult one, the sensitive one, the person everyone has to manage. When that happens before you get a chance to speak for yourself, the room is no longer meeting you fresh. It is meeting an expectation. Maybe you have seen it in a group chat. You open the chat after work and there are 20 messages waiting. The plan has changed. The tone is oddly careful. Someone has written, "Let's not overcomplicate this," followed by a few thumbs-up reactions. No one names you, but you can feel your name sitting somewhere between the lines. By the time you ask what happened, you are already worried that asking will make you look like the problem. So you type, delete, make the message gentler, add a smiley face, delete that too. You are not just trying to understand the plan anymore. You are trying not to confirm what people may already believe about you. That is why this kind of moment can make you feel so unlike yourself. You start editing ordinary reactions. You rehearse a simple question until it sounds harmless. You make every sentence softer than you mean it. You apologize before you know what you are apologizing for. Or you decide it is safer to say nothing at all, not because you are weak, because being misunderstood in a group has a particular kind of pressure. You are not responding to one person. You are responding to the possibility that several people have already been given the same lens. We tend to use what we hear about an absent person as a shortcut until direct experience gives us a reason to question it. That shortcut can be useful sometimes. It can also become unfair when it stays vague and keeps getting repeated. Think about a manager before a meeting. The manager leans toward the team and says almost casually, just a little context before they join. They can be intense about feedback. It might sound thoughtful. Nobody has accused anyone of anything. But when you arrive and raise a concern about a missed deadline, the room may be listening for your tone before it listens to your point. You notice it, so you start cushioning every sentence. Sorry, this may be nothing. I do not want to make this difficult. Maybe I am overthinking it. Soon, the actual concern gets buried under your effort to prove you are reasonable. Or it happens at a family gathering. Everyone is unusually gentle with you. An aunt changes the subject before you have even reacted. A sibling keeps watching your face. You can feel that some private conversation has become public atmosphere. No one has to say, "We have decided you are the unstable one." The room can communicate it through caution, glances, and the way people brace for a reaction that has not happened. This is why it helps to name the pattern without rushing to name someone's intention. You may never know why another person spoke about you first. You do not need to guess. The question is whether a repeated habit is leaving you to defend a label instead of discuss an event. That is the line to watch. Not, "Did anyone ever talk about me when I was absent?" Everyone does that sometimes. Not, did someone use the wrong words once? People are awkward, worried, careless, and imperfect. The line is whether the conversation keeps becoming vague while the audience gets larger. They are hard to deal with. You know how they are. Just do not set them off. Those phrases make it hard to respond because there is nothing solid inside them. No event, no detail, no clear thing to understand or repair. Only a role you are being asked to inhabit. And in a room already expecting a certain version of you, even an ordinary reaction can be folded back into that story. If you explain too much, it may look defensive. If you go quiet, it may look cold. If you look hurt, it may look like proof that everyone was right to be careful. That does not mean you have to become perfectly calm or perfectly detached. It means you do not have to accept the vague label as the thing under discussion. Come back to the event. What was said? What happened? What exactly is the concern? You might say, I get the sense there is a concern about something. I would rather understand the specific event than guess at it. Or, if something I did affected someone, I am willing to talk about that directly. Those are not magic sentences. They will not make a room suddenly see you clearly. Some people may stay with the story they heard first. Some relationships may have history that cannot be solved in one conversation. Sometimes the group is responding to first-hand experience you need to take seriously. But asking for the specific claim gives you somewhere real to stand. It keeps you from trying to prove that you are never difficult, never emotional, never inconvenient, never wrong. No one can prove that. And no healthy conversation should require it. You can be imperfect and still deserve to be spoken about with enough care that you are not turned into a warning label before you enter the room. There is another temptation when this happens. You may want to call everyone, send screenshots, gather your own version of the group before the other person gets there first again. That urge makes sense. Being pre-framed can make you feel as if you have to race for your own name. But building a counter-rumor campaign usually keeps you trapped in the same game. Whoever reaches the room first gets to define the person who is absent. A steadier response is smaller. Ask for clarity where clarity is possible. Keep your words close to what you know. Let your actions stay consistent. Notice who is willing to deal with a real event and who only wants to keep repeating a role. And leave room for the possibility that there is something worth hearing, even if the way it reached you was unfair. Specificity protects you from a vague story. It also asks you to face anything concrete that belongs to you. The goal is not to win the room, it is to stop arguing with a shadow version of yourself. The next time you walk into a dinner, a meeting, a family gathering, or a group chat and feel that strange pressure before you have said a word, pause. A strange mood does not tell you what happened. Neither does one careful sentence, one silence, or one feeling that people are looking at you differently. Look for what can be checked. Is there a specific claim? Has this happened more than once? Will the person involved speak directly? If no pattern becomes clear, let the moment remain uncertain. If a pattern does emerge, answer the event instead of the label. Then, over time, you can see which rooms are interested in knowing you and which ones only seem interested in keeping you inside a story someone else wrote.